Are you looking for a Valentine's Day gift for your man this year? Well, have I got a fun project for you. Hi, I'm Christina, and I love to digitally apparel pattern and create unique pieces of wearable art. And this year for Valentine's Day, I'm going to be making myself and husband some matching underwear. So today I'm going to be making a underwear for him. And if you are interested in the pattern, definitely look down below, as well as some materials you can gather of just ideas of what you can use. Or if you have some fun fabric at home that you are looking to get rid of that is a knit stretch, this could be a great project for you. So let's get started. First, we're going to print off our pattern and lay it out so we can make sure we have all our pieces. Now I'm going to cut off the edges and tape it together. Now I'm not actually going to tape everything together because there are certain pieces that don't actually cross to multiple pages. So I'm only taping together what needs to be. And I realized that my printer did something funky on, thank goodness, only my rectangular hem piece, and I know how wide it's supposed to be, so I went ahead and remarked that myself to make sure that I was getting the full piece I needed and knew which one of those crazy lines that my printer decided to print was the correct line. Then I'm just going to finish cutting out all the other pieces. Next, it is time to lay out the fabric. Now I have some of them that I'm cutting on the double and some that I'm cutting on the single, so make sure you know which is which. So I'm going to cut out my two sides first and make sure all of it gets cut out. Then I'm going to cut out my center front, and I want to make sure that it pattern matches, so I'm making sure that because I'm doing it on the double, I'm lining up each of those purple stripes before I pin down my fabric and cut it out. Then I'm going to move on to the back, and I only need a single of these, so I'm only cutting out one of these patterns. And then I'm going to cut out the inseam, that rectangle piece. And again, I only need one of them, so I'm only cutting it out on the single. Now it's time to prep my lace. So I got this inch wide lace that I'm just going to cut in half. That'll go down the front of the underwear to highlight that seam. Time to start sewing. So I am going to put my piece of lace in between the center front and the side front pieces, and I was really struggling to get it to stay where I wanted it, so I pinned it. But note, with the serger, you don't want to leave that pin in there because that can get really bad for your machine. So make sure if you do pin, pull out that pin. Then I just want to make sure it goes across, so I'm going to either hand stitch it or stitch it by sewing machine, or I decide to serge it on. And because I serge it on, I might have to be taking off a few of those serges later. We'll just have to see. Then I'm going to repeat on the other side. So down the front and then across that little bottom piece. Next, I'm going to sew up the center front. So I'm going to make sure that all those purple stripes are lined up as neatly as possible so that it looks beautiful. And I realized that when I was serging down one of my pink pieces of lace, it wasn't quite right, so I had to unpick a little bit of the stitching and lay the lace more accurately so that it lined up side to side. Next, I am going to sew the front hem of the pants. So I'm going to go from hem all the way up through the crotch and then back down to the hem. And yep, a little bit of my serging is seen. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip it out so that it is clean. There it is, nice and clean. So next, I'm going to add that butt panel on. So I'm going to line up at the top and I'm going to serge down the side back sewing, down the side back seam, and then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. Next, once that is good, I'm going to do the other inseam. So I'm going to start at the hem, go up across the butt, and then down the other side. Now it's time to do the elastic. So I'm going to overlap them and zigzag them together, creating a nice strong connection. Then I'm going to serge it onto my underwear pattern. Now I serged it on the right side, and that means I had to do a double flip on the inside. You'll see this later. I would recommend actually serging it on the inside of the pants instead of the outside. So that, see here, when I am doing the double flip, I have lots of fabric right at that mark, whereas if I had serged it on the inside and then flipped it down, I would have had less fabric to serge over there. But there they are. Now it's time to hem the pants. So I'm going to fold back a little bit of this pink lace, and I'm going to serge it on to one of the leg hems, making sure that it overlaps just a little bit right at the beginning of the leg. Then I'm going to move back over to the sewing machine. I'm going to flip that serging up. I'm going to do a zigzag stitch all the way around to hold the serging, completing the matching underwear for him. Woo! I'm so excited! And there we have it. We now have some cute little boxer briefs ready for him to wear this Valentine's Day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see other fun ways to create unique pieces of wearable art, whether they're outside on display for everybody or underneath and just that secret surprise for you and your special someone. Make sure to check back soon as well to see how we make a pair of underwear for her that matches this set. I hope to see you in some of my other videos.